pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Commissioner's Office will report on financials.
Yes. Let's see, this is 16-098. This was a correction of a journal, of an appropriation transfer journal, 2016-2230. The original journal was entered incorrect in the system and needed to be, so it was a entry that was put in backwards. So we had to fix it, but to fix a reversed entry, you just reverse that entry and then do it correctly, and that's all this was. That was pretty straightforward, not a lot more involved. And the second one was 097. Oh, this is the, okay, I got that here. Got my report, hold on.
That's the amended number now.
That's the amended number, because that's what threw me off, it was one under. Here we go. Okay. I accepted a resignation for Donna Weber, Administrative Secretary, effective July 22nd, and then I granted permission to advertise to fill that position. And also approved the Ohio Motor Fuel Tax refund claim, April to June 2016, the total of $3,004.29. Okay?
Okay.
Together or separate? Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes for the meeting of June 28, 2016. The Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute the minutes from the meeting of July 7, 2016.
I'll make those motions. Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Aye. Get your habit, I'm used to this, not having a second voice in the middle.
Okay, we have the financials for the week. In supplemental appropriations, we have a supplemental appropriation request for the Common Police Smart Grant Fund in the amount of $5,000 for contracted services, and a supplemental appropriation request for water resources in the amount of $78,000. Under the cash transfers, we have a cash transfer from the JFS Children's Services to the JFS Public Assistance for state fiscal year 2016 child welfare admin expenses. Under encumbrances, we have a travel encumbrance for the Commissioner's Office, travel encumbrances for Job and Family Services. And we have a contract with Raffatellis Financial Consultants in the amount of $50,440 for a rate study and evaluation for the County Sewer Improvement Fund. This week in the vouchers, we have a payment of $23,176.02 to Schraff and King for third quarter legal services for Department of Aging. A payment of $68,566.25 to The Ohio State University for the OSU Extension third quarter. A payment of $421,725.65 to Roniak Paving for road resurfacing. Payment of $11,463 to Industrial Surface Sealing for lot seal coating for the Geauga Board of DD. A payment of $30,333 to Philip Miller for concrete work. And a payment of $123,717.32 to Precise Boring of Ohio for the Troy Oaks Force Main for water resources.
Questions?
Commissioner's Office is requesting the Board approve and execute Resolution 16-099, itemizing the financials for the meeting of July 19, 2016.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Morning, Jody.
Good morning, how are you?
How are you?
Doing well, thank This is just a follow-up on one of our revolving loan clients, Geauga Hardware. They created the necessary jobs to qualify for the loan. So we're asking the commissioners to sign off on the job certification so we can send it to the state. Have them release that requirement.
So this is them paying back the loan, or this is them,
No.
they're just complying with the job requirements?
They're complying with the job requirements.
Well, loan requirement, right?
It's a requirement for them to get
To
the
get the
loan in the
loan
first
to
place.
do-
Right.
right.
But they still are making, they're still paying the loan off, but they
Okay,
have
the
2 years to
existing.
create the jobs. And so the loan could be 15 or 20 years, but they only have 2 years. to
2-year
create the
window to
jobs.
meet their
Right.
obligation. Okay.
So this is with Geauga
Mhm.
Hardware? They created 23 new jobs?
Mhm.
Great. Good for Geauga. Geauga, have you ever been out and bought hardware out there?
No, but I know people who have.
They
I
have great,
did.
got great wood. I bought-
Yeah, my whole floor
Yeah.
is from them.
Yep, I got some hickory and a bunch of wood from them. They
Yeah.
do a nice job out there, so. And they're going international now, which is actually kind
It's very,
of, it's interesting.
they have some good leadership.
They do. Okay, good.
Office of Community and Economic Development is requesting the board approve and authorize the president of the board to execute the Office of Housing and Community Partnerships Ohio Small Cities Community Development Block Grant Program Job Certification Summary for Geauga Hardwood Flooring as they have fulfilled the job creation portion of the revolving loan fund loan.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Thank you.
Thank you, Joni. Have a nice day.
Thank you too.
It's the dog dude. Hey, there he is.
I've got a dog running around my neighborhood, loose.
Do I gotta cite you for it?
Not me. No.
I wasn't sure what you meant.
It runs around in a little pack, it howls at night. Can you do anything about that?
Is that a coyote, maybe?
Catch that? It's a dog.
It's a canine.
It's going in the dickens out of me, I can tell you that.
Oh, yeah, I think we got 2 calls on it. Because we got a call on a snake and
A
that.
snake.
Call it a snake?
Yeah, I forget, some business in Chardon, and I don't even know the name of it because my deputy got it. There were snakes in there, in the warehouse that they were at. We had to call,
Keep it in a
tell
box.
them to call a private trapper, yeah, it's something.
They come in the box. Like their shipping materials.
Oh.
Like when they receive boxes from
Yeah.
Are
on
you
trucks.
allowed to discharge a firearm in Chardon?
My husband's company, when he worked.
I have a
for-
shotgun
together,
ready.
In the box, they had a scorpion run around the warehouse one time.
Nice.
Like, bring it up large.
Wow. Getting a black mamba or something in
Yeah.
a shipping container.
Yeah, it's
It
great.
would be a scary experience.
Yeah, with everything coming in from the Orient, you never know.
Never even thought about it.
Yeah.
Could be the new ISIS way of attacking people. They just throw snakes in boxes. All right, go ahead. Sorry for the distraction. We're in one of those moves. Oh, it's on you here.
I'm sorry.
You want to explain this program? Explain your program.
We work with Channel 3 now in NBC, and they do a clear the shelter for pets. Now, we don't have a problem with it because we don't have a euthanasia that they have a problem, but they do this all around the country. And this year, because they've been doing events with us, they asked us to participate. And one of the ideas of participating is reducing the adoption fees. So the request is that our normal adoption fees are 105 plus 15 for a license, so it's 120, 130 for puppies. And we're requesting that we move that down for Saturday to $25 total, $10 for the adoption and 15 for the dog license. And it's just our way of, Channel 3 is gonna advertise us, probably do some media coverage on that as far as our shelter, and it just helps out. So it's more of a, for us, it's more of a, make people aware we're around.
So here's a goofy question for you. So is advertising good for us? You know, if you have more animals you got to deal with, your cost goes up. I don't know, is it good?
Well, the animals we're trying to do is just clear the shelter, so, is it, we have right now we have currently 5 dogs coming in from Geauga County, and they're all vetted out, which means there's no money we're putting into these dogs. And we're helping their shelter by, they don't have to euthanize these dogs. When they come into our shelter, any of those adoptions are increased revenue, on us. So as far as clearing the shelter, this is more of reducing the euthanasia across the board in Northeast Ohio. So is it a help or a benefit or a negative on this? Not really. I think it's a benefit on, there's a lot of people that still don't know we're around. I mean, we've been around longer than Rescue Village, but, you know, a lot of people go, oh, I didn't know there was a shelter down by the safety center. So it's really just getting our name out so people understand that we're there and they can do
Well,
adoptions.
you've always done real well in getting donations. The more people know about you, probably your donations might go up.
Absolutely.
See the good work you're doing.
That's a big thing, and when we do get filled with, like I say, animals that we have, it just helps with more people looking on our website to see adoptable dogs.
How many dogs are currently housed there?
Right now, we have 13, and we're bringing
You
in
get to 5?
5 more from Geauga, so we're gonna be up to 18, and then to clear out, obviously, the shelter. And are we gonna see a big increase on this on Saturday? I doubt it, but because it's gonna be on Channel 3 and all that, we might get people from out of our county to come in to adopt the dogs.
Are they gonna use those sad little puppies that they see on the?
We do anything we can to,
Shameless promotion.
That's a shameless.
it's not as bad, like I say, in our county, it's not that, but we wanna promote it and help out.
So what do you have in the inventory right
We have everything, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
now? No, I mean,
Puppies
for
over
all the
there?
viewers out there who will be watching this, this is your chance to.
We have shepherd mixes. We have a cute terrier that we have right now that is about 25 pounds, about 2 years old. Very nice dog. And we have a lot of cute dogs at the shelter right now. So they just got to go on the website or just come on down and take a look at it.
How much effort do you have to go through in order to turn one of these dogs over?
Some of them are a lot of work. Right now, we have a shepherd that was malnourished, been in our shelter for 5 weeks now. So we have to wait for all the blood tests to come back. So some dogs are long and time consuming, and a lot of the donations help with that. Some dogs come in, and if it's a 10-pound dog or less, those things get adopted within an hour of coming into the shelter. I mean, everyone's looking for the small little toy dogs. Those are a lot easier to adopt out than the bigger dogs.
You have no references on the bigger ones, whether they're varmint hunters or not, right? I mean, that's what I'm looking for. When mine 15-year-old goes, I want a new one to go kill things in the yard.
We do, well, we do, if you come down, because we do have some, like, we have them outside in the kennels. So when we see a squirrel, when they see a squirrel coming across
Yeah,
our thing,
yeah.
like, we know which ones are beelining towards that squirrel to try to, like, go after the
Okay,
squirrel. So
okay, yeah.
we do know some of them in the shelter, yeah, absolutely, we have, and then some, like, the squirrel can, like, run right over the top of them. It just sits there like, yeah, whatever.
As long as they're not eating the food, they
Exactly.
don't care.
They don't even care if it eats the food, actually. Some of these dogs are just so laid back, so it all varies on their personality.
Okay then.
Thank you.
The dog warden is requesting the board approve a temporary reduction in adoption fees for dogs $105 and puppies $115 to $25, including license, in conjunction with Clear the Shelter Day sponsored by Channel 3 on Saturday, July 23rd, 2016, from 10 o'clock a.m. until 3 o'clock.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clinton?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Good luck with that.
Have fun.
Yes, thanks.
Morning, Nick. How are you?
Good. This morning, we have the final adjusting change order for the asphalt resurfacing of Chardon Windsor Road in Huntsburg Township. It's a reduction in the final cost of $9,384.90, and that's just due to actual quantities used, needed, required for the actual project.
motion? The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve and execute change order number 1, final decreasing the contract with Maya Paving Incorporated for the asphalt resurfacing of Chardon Windsor Road, CH 13, sections I through J in Huntsburg Township in the amount of $9,384.90.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Thank you. All right, Frank.
This morning,
Good morning.
Christine. Well, looks like we're at the end of our work to get this conveyor completed. We're looking at the contract here today. So again, I want to say I appreciate everything that the county commissioners have done. From phase 1 2 years ago, we started with the new salt building and the conveyor now, and just a lot of benefits that we've seen, be able to share salt with the townships. It's worked out well, and this is to that end, so I certainly appreciate everything the office has done to accomplish that.
When do you expect to get April?
No, I would say October.
Oh, okay.
They typically look at about a 90-day bill.
Everybody gets to sign here, you have to sign
You
here.
know, it depends.
This is on the conveyor.
We're looking at 90 days out right now. That would be nice. Sometimes those things can speed up. Usually they take longer, but we'll see. October would be ideal, though, based on our winter salt contract, which we're already in the contract for. When we start getting the material in, we can start loading up and get us prepared for the winter. So.
A little side business you could use, give rides to the kids on.
I don't think that there's time for that.
I was thinking, if you put snow on the conveyor outside, you can get it 35 foot high, and then kids can ride up on the conveyor and sled down the other side.
Hey, might be.
I'm not sure how that'll affect our insurance
Might be
rates,
liability.
but I think adversely.
Yeah, I don't think they're ready to do that.
Yeah,
I think
we're
just
we're overly protective of our kids.
I think we're just using for standing salt materials and such.
Every little revenue opportunity.
Any other questions? The county engineer's office is requesting the board approve and execute the equipment contract with Ohio Cat for one current model salt conveyor capable of stacking snow and ice material at least 35 feet high in the amount of $128,550, and further authorize the president of the board to execute the equipment sales agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Thank you, gentlemen.
Frank, on this, I read it, at least 35 feet high. That's open-ended on the other. If they bring you one that's 40 foot high, is it gonna work or no?
Their specs are 35 feet high.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we wanted a minimum, we could have just said 35 feet high, but I think we could have taken 37 feet if we needed to, maybe. But 35 is the perfect spot, that's exactly.
Yeah, I just, you know, it's like, well, we got one here that you can have tomorrow, but it's 45 feet high or
No, all
something.
this stuff needs to be built, unfortunately. They don't just
Okay.
have them, sitting on a shelf at, Acme Conveyor Store or whatever. So,
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Good morning, Scott.
I'm just putting.
This is one of the grants, as you know, we've been trying to replace as many MDTs as we can with the use of grants, and this is one of them, that the criminal justice grant that we got, and this is simply the equipment inventory report that needs to be signed so that we can get the reimbursement.
Define the MDT.
The mobile data terminal, the computer that's in the cars.
How many XPs do you still have left?
I don't know, we're nearing the end. We replaced the majority of them. Unfortunately, that last batch we put on double deals, nobody even wants it.
Other technology is changing so rapidly. It's unbelievable. Somebody asked me the other question about our radio system, and I think when we were considering that a few years ago, the multiple $1 million radios, that had longevity because it's compatible with the state system. Is that a correct statement?
Yes.
And then it also is the future of the technology, so you can roll it over. You might have units that wear out, but it's still going to be good technology. So.
Absolutely. The projection is at least 20 years from this last upgrade, so.
That's good, because we gotta pay this for 4 more years.
That's right, so we're still paying it off, so.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And as we can see with all the nonsense going on in the world today, we want to make sure that law enforcement's equipped properly to do what you gotta do. All right, go ahead.
The Sheriff's Office is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President and Board to execute the Office of Criminal Justice Services JAG LE Grant 2015 JGLE 108 Equipment Inventory Report for MDT replacements to receive reimbursement and complete grant requirements. This grant is for the period February 1st, 2016 through August 31st, 2016.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
You know, Saturday, go over there and get one of those little dogs, so you can have one.
Yeah.
Because midgets go.
To
you
kill
know.
stuff in the yard?
Huh?
To kill stuff in the yard?
Yeah, that's an
That's
advantage.
just you.
That's an advantage. Well, they won't keep their end of the bargain. I said that all those little critters can live in the woods all they want. But when they come and tunnel under the buildings, they gotta go. That's all there you go. Live in the woods. I don't care. Come in the yard and start chewing your stuff up. Yeah. Oh, yeah, they broke their agreement.
First item here is change order for our Thompson project, reduction of the project by $40,000. This is the contractor reimbursing us for the trespass that we had to agree with the neighbor and pay them $40,000 for their driveway repair and for trespass on that property. So this is making it, we're getting reimbursed by not having to pay the contractor that $40,000.
Cool.
Question? The Department of Water Resources is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute change order number 3, final decreasing contract A with EnviroCop Construction Incorporated for the Thompson Township Sewer Project in the amount of $40,000.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
The next two items here are authorizing the President of the Board to execute the OWDA term sheets for 2 of our projects. The first one is the Russell Park wastewater treatment plant. That project's just under $1.7 million, and the other one is for Troy Oaks wastewater treatment plant conversion. That one's just under $700,000. The loans that we're obtaining through OWDA in order to pay for those projects.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the Ohio Water Development Authority OWDA term sheet Schedule 1 as it relates to the loan for the construction of the Russell Park wastewater treatment plant upgrades in the amount of $1,699,829. The Department of Water Resources is requesting the Board approve and authorize the President of the Board to execute the Ohio Water Development Authority OWDA term sheet Schedule 1 as it relates to the loan for the construction of the Troy Oaks wastewater treatment plant conversion in the amount of $699,440.
I'll make those motions.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
The next item is a contract maintenance form. This is one of our annual contracts we have. We need to increase it with CUE in the amount of $7,500 to do some additional work at one of the properties up in Thompson to relocate or put in a buffer tank into that property. They have a house that's way in the back that they're tying in. It needs to be tied in by a private pump station, grinder pump, pumping to the sewer system. And the new pit style that Airvac has doesn't permit for using a grinder pump to pump into it, so we either need to relocate that to the back, relocate the pit further back in the property in order to allow it to be done by gravity, or put in a buffer tank. And probably most likely the solution is we're gonna order a buffer tank. The CUE is the contractor, will have them out, they dig the hole, put the buffer tank in, and we can actually go.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we on item number 12 here? 14. We already did
12 and
12, right?
13 together.
So this is
That's
12.
13.
Signed.
You just signed 12.
Okay.
That's 13. This is number 14.
So we're on the, with the 1.6 is what we just did here.
And that's number 13, which is the 699.
Okay.
And this is the one you
Oh,
started.
we already
now,
approved this.
which is
We did those together. Gotcha. All right, gotcha. Sorry.
That's all right.
I'm confused, so I'm gonna make sure I get it right here. Screwed up. Okay, so this is a one-time or a permanent increase?
This is a increase to do to possibly do the amount to do this work at this facility. It's one of our annual service contracts. It's one of our contractors we have our annual service contracts with.
But are we permanently increasing the annual amount?
No,
by this
no,
much?
it's
This
just
is
gonna
a
increase this
one-time.
for this one. Yeah, this is actually one of the contracts we have over multi-years. This is just increasing the 2016 portion of that.
Is this CUE that they didn't do work out there?
No.
This is a new face
Correct.
in the Thompson
This is
on that
someone we have,
project.
yeah, this is not somebody through Envirocom. This is just because they're tying this house in, that wasn't necessarily part of the original project. We're not going back to the original contractor or the original engineer. This wasn't designed that way to begin with.
Okay.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute service contract maintenance form number 1, increasing the contract with CUE Excavating Contractors LLC to perform additional excavation at 6826 Madison Road in the amount of $7,500.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye.
And then the next item is another contract maintenance form. This is for Yarnell Tree Company. This is to have them do some tree clearing around our Russell Park wastewater treatment plant in order to permit for the new electric service that's going to be needed for the upgrades we're doing at that plant. This is again just a one-time increase for this specific project.
Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute service contract maintenance form number 1, increasing the contract with Yarnell Tree Company Incorporated to perform additional tree clearing services at the Russell Park wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $4,500.
Make the motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Aye. I have to get a hold of Yarnell. I was in a tree last week or 2 weeks ago with, on a ladder with my chainsaw cutting a limb off the tree, and the limb jumped the wrong way, so knocked me out of the ladder.
So we should be getting in touch with you to do a tree clearing for us.
Sounds to me like we need to call the insurance company.
We actually
Workers'
have-
comp.
We actually have one of our employees who did that same thing and was out for 3 weeks a few years ago. So he doesn't do his own tree clearing anymore.
I'm tough, though. You just gotta learn to tuck and roll when you hit the ground.
With the chainsaw.
No, that I had on a roll.
Pick up any body parts you
You just let
severed
that
at the
go,
time.
and you just tuck and roll.
I've got experience.
You've fallen before.
Oh, yeah.
Final item here is approving and executing the contract with Jack Gibson Construction for our Russell Park wastewater treatment plant project. Finally getting that project moving forward to get that done, so we'll get some adjustments that we made to get the project under the estimate and what we are getting our loan for. So this is just approving and executing the contract for that project.
The Department of Water Resources is requesting the board approve and execute the contract with Jeff Gibson Construction Company for the Russell Park wastewater treatment plant upgrades project in the amount of $1,543,900. The bid bond shall be held to serve as the performance bond for this project.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you. You have a good day.
Yeah, Linda, were you gonna come up and explain that?
Depends on what the commissioner wants to do. Does he want to talk about that?
We had a discussion before the meeting with Linda and Blake about some change in law regarding medical marijuana.
Yeah, I was at the Geauga Grove Partnership meeting last night, and they had people come in. Well, Judge Topeka was there, and Dan McClellan, and this lady named Sarah Moore. It's a legal firm, I got it written down. I can't-
Downs Official.
Yeah, it's a,
Official
yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Official Haas, that's
do-
what it is.
Official Haas, okay, it could be Dewey, Cheatham and Howe, and I don't know. I mean, it's some legal firm, her name is Sarah Moore, I thought I was doing good with that. And she basically covered some of the nuances in this new state law about medical marijuana.
I don't think I wanna know.
Well, given the alternatives, this is the best alternative, a better alternative than a constitutional amendment. Because with it being a law, the legislature can change parts of that law. We need to ensure at the county level that we have a strong policy with all the I's dotted and T's crossed. And I know, I see in the back row is Laura. She may be working on it and have information. I talked to Linda this morning. I've given her the PowerPoint and some of the other information that they have, because even though it's a state law about a controlled substance, it does not take precedent over the federal law. And the federal law is much,
We'll talk to Colorado.
well, they changed their constitution, I think, didn't they?
Or California for that matter, because both of them are in violation of federal law. But I
Yeah,
understand-
well,
I
I'm
understand
just
your point.
saying,
That's-
if you have something that addresses all the scenarios or whatever that could happen, you're gonna be in a lot better position than if you didn't have something. And so I think while they're doing it, probably in the course of their job anyway, we need to urge them, and there's a deadline, September.
September 8th is when the law goes into effect. Corsa will be giving us sample language by 2 weeks before that time. That will have given them some time to, again, research the nuances and make sure that whatever sample language they give us will be covering the different scenarios that could come up. The bottom line is, Corsa is recommending that we continue to keep in our policy that you can't use, even by prescription, marijuana while you're at work. So we're expecting to see some language for them before the law goes into effect.
Well, and I wouldn't see this, I'm sorry, I wouldn't see this as any different from any other narcotic that an employee might be using. If they're an engineer, they're running a chainsaw, we don't want them on Valium or Percocet or any of the things that could create a hazard to themselves or the public. This is no different. This is, and I haven't read the law, I've talked to some people about it, I talked to John Eklund about it before they passed it and so forth, and we had some of the debates about, is this a good thing or a bad thing? It was my understanding this is not smokable marijuana, this is pill form marijuana, the substance that comes out of this marijuana.
It's,
So-
you're correct. This law does not allow for people to smoke marijuana, but there's a number of other ways to get high from it. You can ingest it. The one that I haven't figured out is you can vaporize it and inhale the vapor from it.
It's not intended to be used, that's misusing the drug.
No, that's just what that's the, you can put it in liquid form, tablet form, put it in food, ingest it, whatever. There's a whole list of things, and most of them I would have never even thought of. But smoking is illegal.
That's the point that I'm trying to make. I mean, you can go get airplane glue, put it in a bag and sniff it, I hear tell, and get high. That's
No
misusing-
personal experience?
That's no personal experience.
And me too.
And so that's the point being is you can misuse a lot of things, but this law does not provide for somebody, and that might be a misunderstanding on the public's perspective, of being able to inhale the weed itself. This is taking the beneficial component out of marijuana and making it available in pill form. I don't even know if it gets you high personally, but.
It does raise some interesting legal issues, especially the issues that relate to the ADA for the most part. I was reading up on it yesterday, and Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to address some of these issues, but we do have some time.
Well, that's why I wanted to bring it up, is because we're gonna blink and it's September.
Yep.
So rather than running around and trying to find something at the last minute, some strategy to go forward and as Linda said, CCAO is in,
Corsa is prepared.
Corsa and I mean, there's examples there that, in this presentation where, well, is this person now eligible for unemployment compensation? Is this person was using it on the job and was injured, but they didn't know, or what happened, so now they have a claim with BWC, you know, and it's like, you know, really? How many different examples could you cite that you need a language to safeguard against? I you know, I have no problem saying I'm not smart enough to figure all that out. But we know people who are. So.
But Skip's right though, I mean, other drugs have been out there for quite some time, so this is kind of, you know, in the same realm.
So a question that I have, and I don't know, Blake, if you heard about this last night, if taking this pill, does that make you fail a blood or a urine test?
Yes.
And so if that's the case, now we've got that issue, because we're testing people who are driving our tractors alongside of the road and or whatever.
It'll be interesting to see what kind of medical documentation comes out of, you know, these scenarios. Obviously, if an employee shows up for work and they have, you know, a note from their doctor saying that it doesn't impair their ability to perform their job or something like that, it'll be interesting to see what
Well,
we receive.
one of the people that was at the Growth Partnership is a trucking company, and so there was some question about what Ohio's done, but the DOT regulations, which are federal, and they said, no, the DOT trumps whatever the state's doing because that's a federal regulation. So if you're not clear on which has a higher level of authority, you know, then you gotta sit down and look it up somewhere. So we just need to agree that we have people who are working on this with the various support agencies, our insurance company, and so on and so forth. So we don't get gigged or get in trouble.
Well, it gets really muddy and complicated in this situation because of the federal government, because of some of this other nonsense, so. It is what it is. Why we get paid the big bucks. Not. So, thanks. Wasn't as bad as I thought.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
And we have this executive session, which we expect action when we come back. But I don't know how long we'll be in there, so I don't know if there's any, if you want to,
No,
if there's anybody out here that wants to speak or address us.
Anybody got a question, comment? We're going into executive session.
Okay.
So if you're in the mood to stick around and wait, you can ask the question. If not, then.
Commissioner's Office is requesting the board move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the discipline of a public employee at the county hall.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Clickwell?
Who's coming in with
It'll
us?
be Linda Rahenny, Karen Nicola, Laura Lashapella.
Can the two of us come?
Well, I hope you were going.
That's taken for granted. Everyone else is optional.
Oh.
If you don't want to go there,
I thought
just
Skip
say
and
it.
I were going for coffee.
That's right. Yeah, we'll let you know how it is.
Yeah, tell us what you're doing. Thank you.
Okay.
Returned at 10:02. The county home is requesting the board accept the disciplinary recommendation of the hearing officer, Lieutenant Gary Gribbins, to remove from administrative leave and to terminate Wendy Halstrom, senior cook at the county home, effective immediately for violation of Geauga County Personnel Policy and Procedure Manual, Section 3, page 3.2 and 3.3, and further approve and execute the order of removal, reduction, suspension, involuntary disciplinary separation form for ORC 124.34 for the termination.
Make that motion.
There's 3 copies.
Commissioner Rea?
Aye.
Commissioner Claypool?
All right. Why are we having blue and green? One's for
Those-
Blake and one's for me?
No,
How's that
those
work?
are just the tabs that Linda uses.
Those are the tabs I use, and each of you needs to sign each of the 3 forms.
You've got 2 on the same page, so does that mean
You
something?
sign and he signs.
Oh, okay, so you are marking for each of us?
Yes.
Oh, I got you.
They're color coded by red and green, so that are yellow and red, that's why they're confused by the different colors.
I'm sorry, I don't have those, I have these.
We designate yellow as being all 3 of them, and red as only being the president, so we color coded our stickies.
Well, I can't keep it straight. I just look, if there's a line, I sign it. That's why they make white out. This one.
Right there by your name.
Right here.
Mhm.
So NOACA is having a Progress for Prosperity get-together today, with Mayor Jackson and Valerie McCall.
During the RNC.
It seems like an oxymoron to me, progressive prosperity,
Mhm.
but
That is the story they tell themselves.
yeah. I'm happy to see that there's not been too much commotion downtown though.
Still early.
Early days.
That's true. And I don't know where they're standing, Fox News is standing, to get the stadium in the background.
They're on the mall there, that's, they refer to that as like a Huntington Convention Center. So Huntington Bank must have paid something to upgrade that convention center. But that grassy area, that's right across from where the other stadium.
That they're camping next to each
So they have some kind of, I think, some kind of temporary structure. That's like above part of the convention center.
Just yesterday, they were doing the session in the morning, and the wind was blowing really hard.
Is there anything else you guys want?
And now I move to adjourn,
Second.
Okay.
Approved.
and we can talk all we want.